Hi guys, this is Vidas, and today I was going to talk about one little device that I have recently purchased. It's called Flic 2 button. Here we go. I hope you can see it. Yes, second generation Flic smart button, basically Flic 2. I have several of them, and my main purpose of getting them was basically of trying to connect those buttons to work like pistons with my MIDI keyboards with Hauptwerk software, virtual organ software, because the problem that I have on my MIDI keyboards, it's not like complete Hauptwerk setup with pistons and toe studs. I have several buttons on the left right here, on each manual, on each keyboard. Some of them are programmable as MIDI devices, but they are quite far to reach. When we change registration, for example, when I want to use the sequencer, my left hand has to move quite a distance, right? It's like maybe 60 centimeters to the left. So another solution is to do this on the right, right? When you need to do a sequencer, to set up two extreme keys in the far left, B and C. They are very seldom used keys, basically, and not every sample set even has high B and C. So many people I've seen do this. B would be sequencer or stepper, as it's called in Hauptwerk, stepper minus, and C would be stepper plus. So plus would be adding the next combination, and minus would be going back to the previous combination. That works when we have larger breaks between musical episodes, like general rest, 1 second rest. I move with my finger and I press with this C key, and this changes registration. I can demonstrate right on the Velesovo sample set. So you can probably see it right here, backwards: 0, 3, 2, 1, and 0. The first registration, the next, much louder, right? All is done with these two extreme right keys, B and C. But the problem is in fast registration changes, when you have to change in the middle of the episode to add like fluently and flawlessly, seamlessly even, the next registration combination. So generally what we do on the normal organ with combination action is you push this basically thumb piston under any manual, under the first manual or the second, the third. These are divisional, right? Divisionals. But on my Nectar MIDI controller, 61 keys, I have no such keys or buttons in the middle of the keyboard. I have to figure something out. And I came to the conclusion that this Flic smart button might work really well, right? So I recently purchased a few of them in a pack, and tried them at home. So my idea was to use them as a MIDI device, because they are capable of sending MIDI signals. The next generation Flic buttons, Flic 2, they can read MIDI messages. But so far I wasn't able to do that. But there is a workaround. You see, in Hauptwerk there are shortcuts that you could press with your keyboard, computer keyboard, like this. I have this computer keyboard somewhere right here. I don't know if you can see it. Right here, right? So if you press Control and right arrow, then it would act like a stepper plus sign. So this is the first combination. I press Control and right arrow, and here we go, another combination. Wait, not so fast. I think one more time. Now, one more time, the next. Yes, and if you want to move backwards, is Control and left arrow. Right, one more time. So, Control right arrow, Control left arrow. The thing with the Flic device is that you can actually program this Flic smart button to work as a computer keyboard. One button computer keyboard. It has three functions: single press, double press, and then long hold. You can assign three different functions for each button: single press, double press, and then a longer hold, right? So I was able actually to think that you can program a Control and left arrow function for this single smart button Flic press. If I press this button once, in theory, this shortcut, this Hauptwerk shortcut should work, and my stepper should be working, right? The combination next, 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 like a sequencer, in theory. So when I bought those devices, I tested, but I couldn't connect them to the computer because they should work as, they should be detectable as Bluetooth devices. If you have two of them, let's say, then two Bluetooth devices would be detectable with your computer. So it turns out the problem was with my computer. My computer doesn't have native Bluetooth capability, so I had to buy Bluetooth adapter, right? Like a USB stick, like a dongle. And just today arrived this package with USB adapter, Bluetooth adapter, but it has to be Bluetooth 5, low energy Bluetooth 5 adapter, because I had previously tried Bluetooth 2 and it didn't detect any Flic smart buttons. Therefore, they couldn't work, with my Hauptwerk. Bluetooth 2 doesn't recognize Flic smart buttons, but Bluetooth 5 does. So if you're wondering with your Hauptwerk setup and your computer, check your Bluetooth capabilities. What kind of Bluetooth you have? 2, 3, 4, or even 5. Newest devices have 5, but there are chances that you don't have 5. So then you should get just simple Bluetooth 5 adapter and stick it into like USB port of your computer or USB hub that you are powering into your computer, and that would be very simple to do, right? Once this, I tried it today. Once this dongle was installed, the driver had to be also installed. So there was this disk with the driver. I installed the disk in my computer, and suddenly I had Bluetooth 5 in my computer starting today. So then I was able actually to do this manually, and now my Flic button was recognizable with this Hauptwerk computer. Suddenly I was able to program and work it as a stepper, right? So before shooting this video, I tested and tried one button. It would work like a stepper plus sign. Let me demonstrate it for you. Here is the first registration. I click the button once. It's attached under the first keyboard. One more time. And is attached, and now I change registration. Right? Very easily. So therefore it works. What about if I open another program? Oh, I see. It didn't work before when I was another program when another program was in front of Hauptwerk. I'm opening now OBS Studio to shoot this video, and you see on my screen that's not Hauptwerk but OBS Studio window, and it doesn't work, right? So device has to be activated when Hauptwerk window is open, open. So let me open Hauptwerk window and check. Yes, changing, yeah, it works. Yes, so that's one thing to keep in mind, that this device Flic 2 button works when Hauptwerk window is open in front of you, not another program. All right, that's a little bit of limitation, obviously, but for Hauptwerk purposes, obviously, when you're playing Hauptwerk, you can basically open Hauptwerk window. That's not a big deal, I think, right? All right, so today in this video, let me program another button. I have one in my hand, and this will work, or in theory should work, like a stepper minus to move to the previous registration combination. All right, let me do this. I will put it on the keyboard. After we're done, I will attach it under the keyboard next to another button like before. It has very good attachable surface. All right, so I will open now my phone and click on the Flic app on the it's Android phone basically. I have so far two buttons installed, and one is for Hauptwerk, another is for turning the pages with Fourscore app on my iPad. So now I will try to connect another Flic to the phone. I will click this plus sign, okay, and it says press and hold this Flic device. I will press until it connects. Found a click set and connecting, and now I need to give my Flic a name. What about, I will give HW Hauptwerk, and the name would be stepper minus. All right, so let me now click done. Can you see it? Done on the bottom of the screen, and it's then pairing complete. I click finish. Yes, and it's now connected. Now the next function is to try out this Flic button to be paired with my Hauptwerk computer, right? Because it's now connected like a separate device. But before I do that, I need to give this stepper function. So I click on this button in the app and click single click, just single click, and scroll to universal actions. And we have several of them. Delay, which is pause before the next action. Then keyboard command, which simulates keyboard presses. MIDI command, simulate MIDI commands. And mouse command, you can actually simulate with this button like a mouse click. I don't need mouse, I don't need MIDI for this purpose, but I do need keyboard command. So I press this as a keyboard. So then press on keys, and modifier will be control. If you have let's say a Mac, on a Mac would be probably command, not control, right? And scrolling down, and here is right arrow. I don't need that, but right next to it is left arrow. I check this left arrow, and then scroll downwards until I have this red button, which is save action. All right, save action pressed, and click OK. So let's test it out, and let's press the next button. It works with stepper plus. One more time. 3, 4, 5, and going backwards like 0, 1, 2. How about now with this flick going backwards? Oh, 1, 0. Oh, it does work, right? So one button for plus sign, one button for minus. Plus, plus, and minus. You see, it works. So I have to just attach this minus stepper button to the keyboard next to the plus, right? Next to the plus, somewhere here around the note middle D, I would say. So it has a wonderful attachable adhesive, double-sided adhesive, right? So I will put it around the note D and hold it for 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it works. So plus, minus, works. Wonderful. So guys, if you want to set up your MIDI keyboards with buttons, with pistons, and you don't have any pistons, I kind of recommend this Flic second generation button, Flic 2. It's very elegant, works very well. You could actually get away with just one button because there are 3 functions: one click, double click, and hold. So for single click you would need to program it control and right arrow. For double click it could be control and left arrow, like a minus sign with the stepper. Just one single button would be okay. But if it's a fast passage, sometimes maybe two separate buttons are needed, right? Not to mix up things. So I have several of them, and we'll see where I can use the rest of them. I have 2 attached under the first keyboard, and the third is attached under the keyboard on my pipe organ right here behind me. It works like a page turner with my 4Score app on the iPad, as I mentioned it before. So I hope this was useful to you. Please subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for your support on Patreon. You get, of course, early access, and I get to keep going. Thank you guys. This was Vidas. Subscribe to my channel, click like on this video, leave a comment, and share it with your friends. And I'll catch you online in the next video very soon. Bye for now.